Across the Village Media Network, this is Trillium Talk, our weekly look inside Ontario politics with our team at the Trillium. Today, very pleased to be joined by reporter Aidan Chamandy. Aidan, welcome back to the show. Great as always to see you.
Thanks for having me, Scott. Good to be here.
All right, the big political issue of the week was housing. Lots to talk about here, Aidan, but let's start with the documents that you got your hands on before the housing bill was even tabled.
Yeah, so the housing policy rumor mill is always a churning, but it had been picking up for the last couple of months, last couple of weeks. The minister had signaled that he was going to introduce a bill sometime in the new year. We had been expecting it for a while, but it really heated up earlier this week. So I put the bat signal out to see if I could find anything out about what was coming. And I ended up getting my hands on some documents, as you said, that basically broke down everything that was going to be in the bill. This was on Tuesday night, fairly late. So scrambled to get a story up in time for Trillium Today on Wednesday. And then mid-afternoon Wednesday, the bill came out, and everything that we had in the story was in the bill.
All right, so part of this bill, Aidan, walks back a previous change the government made on development charges, which is now likely to make new homes even more expensive in some places. This is hardly the first walk back for the government, but certainly a sign that they've lost control of what they wanted to be their signature winning issue.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because just if listeners don't know, development charges are fees that municipalities levy on development to pay for things like infrastructure. It can be as much as 25% of the purchase price of a new home. These are serious fees. And in 2022, the Ford government came out with a huge housing bill that cut development charges. It slowed the rate at which municipalities could levy these charges. So it wasn't a full-on cut, but this got municipalities terrified that they were going to lose all this money and they weren't going to be able to pay for this infrastructure. So it was more or less a 2-year campaign to try and get them to reverse this. The PCs held fast for 2 years, but I don't know. I guess the dam broke and they reversed it. So yeah, as you said, this is going to significantly increase the construction costs at a time when interest rates are high, inflation's high, material shortage, labor shortage. So affordability problem is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Just wondering, Aidan, anything more out of the Ford camp since the feds ponied up $5 billion contingent on fourplexes to access that money?
No, I have been trying to figure out what is going on there. I'm kind of getting radio silence from both camps. Actually, that's not entirely fair to the Ford government camp. They say it's in the federal government's hands. I'm not getting responses from the federal government on what's going to happen there, but the PCs are holding firm that they are not going to move forward with fourplexes as of right. That's up to the municipalities.
All right, fellow reporter Jack Howen was also busy this week covering the government wanting to close the loophole that allows nurse practitioners to charge people for medical care that otherwise would be covered by OHIP if done by a doctor. What is the latest?
Yeah, and it's not just nurse practitioners. It's these billed as executive health clinics where, you pay what's called a block fee to access non-primary care, so things like sick notes, massage referrals, but also primary care, stuff that would normally be covered by OHIP. These nurse practitioner clinics really have been popping up a lot more lately. And we're kind of in a gray zone right now. So Health Minister Jones said the province will take action if the federal government doesn't. Jones has said it's a loophole in the Canada Health Act. There's nothing wrong with Ontario's legislation. But Liberal health critic Auston Matthews, who was an emergency room doctor, has a lot of experience in the sector, said that's not exactly right. There's the problem can be fixed with a change to the provincial equivalent of the Canada Health Act. But not wanting to necessarily trust politicians on this, Jack reached out to some lawyers, and one of them told us that there's actually no exemption. Anyone charging for primary care is in breach of the act, and I don't honestly really know where we take it from here. It sounds like it might have to be tested in court.
All right. Now, we should mention, Aidan, that we tape this program on Fridays. It runs on Sundays, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your buddy Auston Matthews. As we sit here Friday morning, he's at 68 goals. Detroit on Saturday, Florida on Tuesday. Is he going to hit 70?
72. He will get 2 at least on Saturday, and then he's at 70, and he's got 2 more games, and he's been doing nothing but scoring at least a goal a game for the past 2 weeks. So,
all right. You heard it here first. We'll have to check the tape, as they say, and see if you're right next week. For the most comprehensive coverage of Ontario politics anywhere, become a Trillium Insider by logging on and subscribing at thetrillium.ca. Reporter and diehard Leaf fan, Aidan Chamandy. Thanks for this, Aidan. Have a great week.
Thanks as always, guys.